Today, we begin the book of Colossians. It is a letter written by the Apostle Paul to the church at Colossae. Paul was imprisoned in Rome, Italy. You can see on the map here where Rome is located. And the church was at Colossae. And it's way over in Asia Minor, or what we now know as Turkey. The neat thing about this is that Paul had never been to the church at Colossae. While he had ministered to the church in Ephesus, the Ephesians, a man named Epaphras had been saved in Ephesus, and he had taken the gospel to Colossae, and others had been saved, and a church had been established. So this young church was known for its love for each other and for others. But they had become a target of outside forces that threatened the church. Since the church was young and needed guidance, Epaphras traveled all the way from Colossae to Rome to talk to Paul about this and ask for his help and guidance. As a result, we have the letter that Paul wrote to counsel and encourage the Colossian church and address the cultural pressures that were threatening this young church. We have Colossians. In chapter 1 of Colossians, we see 4 major sections. They are the greeting, thanksgiving and prayer, the preeminence of Christ, and Paul's ministry to the church. After Paul greets the church, he tells them of his prayers for them and how he's hearing about their faith in Jesus and their love for others. As you read verses 3 through 14, you understand and hear the encouragement and love and wisdom that Paul extends to this young church. This is an awesome prayer that Paul prays over these people. What a great example of encouraging prayer for us to pray for one another. I would encourage you to take time to pray this over your family, your life group, your pastors, and your fellow Jesus followers. Then in verses 15 through 20, Paul writes a type of poem to remind them of the preeminence of God. Preeminence, that Jesus is God, that he is above all others. He is first in everything. In the first stanza of this poem, he reminds them that Jesus is the true image of God and shares in the identity of the one true God. In the second stanza, Paul tells them that in Jesus we are a new creation, and through his death and resurrection, we are reconciled to God. That God dwells in Jesus, and Jesus' Spirit dwells in us, and we can stand holy and blameless before God. How awesome is that? Paul reminds them of this wonderful truth and to stand firmly in that truth and not move away from that truth. He said, don't be persuaded about anything different. Don't forget this mystery or secret that God has shown you through Jesus Christ. You have access to God yourself through Jesus, whether you're a Jew or a Gentile. Everyone has access to God because of Jesus' sacrifice. The secret is out. Christ lives in you. This is the hope of glory.